You're welcome to the Diva Show. Good morning. It's good to be here this Saturday. Unlike other days, today we are not discussing football too much. We are focusing on boxing and specifically the great man, the legendary Professor Azumah Nelson. His book is out. You need to get a copy. It's called The Professor, The Life Story of Azumah Nelson, written by Ashley Morrison, and it's selling at all Zenith Bank branches across the country and online as well at only 100 Ghana cedis. If you think that you know all about Azumah Nelson, well, you're kidding yourself. This book is a revelation. My biggest revelation, the biggest revelation for me was that the Prof was actually sometimes paying for the live transmission of his bouts for all of us to stay up at night to watch. If that is not the height of patriotism, I don't know what exactly is. You're welcome to the show, brought to you by Lydia Contraceptive, and I have to introduce a great man to you, Professor Azumah Nelson. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. God bless you.
This is a beautiful thing you have done. We know so many great people who go away, who leave us in this world, and they go away with everything they know. But you have documented it. Hopefully this is the first of many to come.
Definitely.
Congratulations to you. All right. He's joined by a man who's also seen it all in sport. I don't even know how to describe him. If you think that we have a crop of journalists these days who know it all, well, you've probably never read from Mr. Joe Agri. Mr. Joe Agri, it's good to see you. I remember Mr. Joe Agri was once a sports minister as well. Good to have you here with us.
Thank you.
I mean, it takes only Prof to get you in the studio.
By this time.
Yes, by this time.
Because the old man should be sleeping by now.
We're very grateful
I only
that you
do
made
this
it.
for Prof.
Yes, yes. And I'm told that on one of his trips to Puerto Rico, you were with him. You covered that bout.
Yes, that is the first the title fight which gave him the title in Puerto Rico. I was there.
You were the reporter.
I was privileged to be there.
Yeah.
Because to watch the thing
live,
it's not like watching it on television.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you will tell us about your story. I mean, how you felt watching him as a Ghanaian.
Okay.
All right, and the two of them are joined by a younger generation, David Shermante. David is a student of the British International School, and I see you're a Liverpool fan. Proudly holding that, right? Okay. Have you ever heard anything about Professor Azumah Nelson?
There's a lot to know about Professor.
Yeah.
He is a national hero. Mm-hmm. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer in boxing. He is the man we all look up to as the youth.
Yeah.
He poses an example of what we should do as young people in education and sports. He went to the Commonwealth Games as an amateur and he came back with a gold medal for the country. That is amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost an unachievable feat for us young people, but we look up to him for this.
Fantastic. And guess what? David is only 17 years old. What it means is that he never saw him fight.
Yeah.
But then again, he's taking the pain to read about a great man like him. And by the way, I didn't tell him that we're going to be discussing Azumah Nelson this morning. He thought we were going to discuss the Premier League. Anyway, Prof, what has been the response so far to this book?
Very good. Very good. Everywhere I move to, people are asking me, where can I get the book to buy? I say, go to Zenith Bank. You can get some in Zenith Bank. And it's going very well.
It's going very well.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Jagri, I saw you at the launch of the book, and you couldn't stop smiling as you listened to all the good things that were being said about Professor Azumah Nelson. Was there any point where you felt that there is something about the man that has not been talked about?
Yeah, I think that they tried to say almost everything. I said that my personal relationship with him and the fact that I know what he went through before a fight, to watch him train and getting to the fight, you pity the guy. You feel that can this man step into the ring and fight? Because he has put everything he has into the training, and he's looking like somebody who has not eaten for so many days. Because as a boxer, you have to make the weight. That is the primary thing that you have to do, and you cannot make the weight eating everything. So you know what to eat, and you have to be disciplined, and that's one thing that I give to him, because without discipline he wouldn't have been as great as he is. When I was a writer, I always made the point that you could be the greatest sportsman, you cannot go far if you are not disciplined. That is a primary thing that you need to do. And Azumah, for all the period that I know him, there was not one point that you will say that Azumah has displayed in discipline in any sphere of his life. And I give it to him. He's fantastic. He's a good role model for our youth, and that is something that I want to stress. Things are hard for everybody. Things were hard for him, but he didn't go about stealing, pickpocketing. You know, when he had the opportunity to be a boxer, he put all he had into boxing, and look at him now. The whole world is talking about Azumah Nelson. To be in the Hall of Fame, it's not easy. How many we don't have an African apart from him in the Hall of Fame, which shows you that he is a super human being. And champ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And reading the review of your book, we were told that you used to sell coconuts to take care of your siblings and your family, by extension.
Yes, because when you wake up, when I was young, up to today, I don't talk too much.
Yes.
I always quiet, sitting down quiet, taking plans. Where to get money, to share, where to get money to make people happy, and the plans comes, I say, okay, let me go here. Sometimes I'll go to buy the coconut to sell, and you believe I don't have any money to buy the coconut. But see, from my infancy, I believe God so much, and I have faith in Him, and up to today. So sometimes I wake up in the morning, I take my pan and my cutlass, I pray, I say, God, I'm going for the coconut, and you know that I don't have money to buy it. When I get there, let the person give it to me, and then when I go and sell it, I bring him the back money. And you don't have to do that. The person don't have to do that, because you don't know me from nowhere. How can you say, okay, go and take it and then go and sell it and come? But when I go, they say, hey, Small, I will go and knock the door. They say, oh, Small, how are you? I say, oh, I'm fine. What can I help you? So I'm coming to buy a coconut. But I don't have money. When I buy it, when I sell it, I'll bring. It's okay, go ahead.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll go and bring the coconut down, and I'll count. Then I take it, I'll go and sell it. When I come, the guy almost give me the money back. He give me everything, it take like small, like little bit, and they say, okay, go ahead, take it. I say, okay, thank you, and I know that God is doing all this, for something, and that's what I'm saying, that God brought everybody in this world for a purpose. And I love to see people happy, and every day I've been saying I wish I can help everybody, but it can be, that cannot be possible. But there's little bit, the little that God will, the power that God will give me to do, I'm more than happy to do. This morning, I don't know what time. I went out with my friend Dave Harper, I would go home like 2 o'clock this morning. I went to bed. I was so tired, and my phone started ringing, and it's difficult for me to take. But it keep ringing. So I went and picked it. I said, yes, hello. I said, oh, I'm from Champ. You remember me? Oh, Daddy, you remember me? I said, no. So, oh, Daddy, I call you to congratulate you because I saw it in the so, Daddy, you know that you brought me to America. That it makes
oh my God!
It makes me feel
very proud.
Yeah, and so it's good. It's good to be good.
Yeah, it is good to be good. Now, Mr. Agri made mention of discipline. It is something that we are not seeing too much with our current crop of sportsmen. I mean, when you can count just a few on one hand. Sportsmen, talk about boxers, footballers, athletes who really, really respect the word discipline and actually take it to the letter. Does it bother you?
Very, very, very. Because even today, if a young boy talking to you, he don't even know how to say please. You know, he don't know how to say please. You know, and up to today, even if I'm going to give you something, somebody came to me, whether big or small, when you come to me, you need something, even about money, and I put my hand in my pocket, I take the money, and I say, okay, please take it. You know, because not because I'm going to give it to you, so it's
you
like,
have to be disrespectful.
Because I have something in my mind that whatever you are doing, God is watching.
Yes.
You know, and I've been saying to people that when God made you a president, a chief, a champion, a rich man, you have to be a servant to the people. You know? And we don't realize that. We think, okay, if God made me a rich man, I have to show that, listen, I'm rich, so when you come into me, you have to bow. You know, and see, I know all the people that have been doing that. They don't know what God have done for them, and they think they are bluffing. But they should be careful that when they are top there, they have to be slaves for the people, the needy ones.
Yeah. David, you play football, don't you?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
And you do agree that most of you, not to zero in on you,
Yes,
but you see our national teams, the teams that are coming up, you don't see so much discipline. You are a young person, you play football. I'm sure you see it in your team sometimes too. What lessons do you learn? I mean, are you groomed properly? Are you inspired properly? Do your coaches talk to you about discipline at all?
Yes, the coaches do try to impose as much discipline as possible on the players, but the key factor is the improvement in our world today, and pop culture actually does not really encourage us to be disciplined in the way that we should act.
Why is that?
This is because there are many influences in many ways. You can have drugs and alcohol or whatnot being advocated for in certain movies or certain music or anything at all. This kind of toes the line between discipline for the young ones who follow this line. Yes.
So is it difficult for you?
It's not difficult. It can be different. It can be different. It depends on oneself. The importance of the sport you're doing to you. If you feel the need to take the sport seriously, discipline would be your major priority.
Okay. Now, at the launch of the book, The Professor, several dignitaries had very beautiful words to say about Professor Azumah Nelson, and he actually dedicated this book to the former president of Ghana, Jerry John Rawlings, and he says he dedicated the book to him for his guidance and support when he was starting out, and to Dave Harper for his friendship and support today. He also dedicated the book to the people of Ghana, his home and country that he loves, hopefully he thinks his story shows that as Africans we can conquer the world. Now we'll go straightly to some videos now to listen to, first and foremost, the former president of Ghana, Jerry John Rawlings, who says that this book is a must-read. Every young person especially must read this book. And also, several of his friends who he grew up with also had nice things to say about him. Don't miss what Mike Tyson had to say about Azumah Nelson.
Ladies and gentlemen, on his behalf, his family, and all the good people who stood by him, I take this privilege to declare the book The Professor duly launched.
Talk about a guy that would fight, talk about a guy that represented his country, never forgot his patriotism. And that's what you know about Azumah Nelson, that he is the man who will be able to fight and never forget where he's coming.
He's one of the greatest fighters that ever came out of Ghana, but he is one of the greatest in the world. You know, he demonstrates action and deed, but more than that, he has the humility. He's empathetic, sympathetic, and commensurate with the plight of others. But when he goes in at a fight, he sets aside all of the idiosyncrasies and he goes to war. He's an Ashanti warrior. And when he does that, it makes everybody feel good, you know what I mean? Because he's inspiring us all. I think and he does it with honor.
The past he dominated, that was the champ 3 or 4 times. He can't ask for anything else. Azumah, you know, I've watched you develop, I've watched you grow. I've watched you good times and bad times, and I truly respect you, I truly love you, man, and all the best. God bless you.
Are so far to give so much of himself. That's a legend right there of himself. So many people come from a short distance and not give that much. He would come from afar and give all he had. Azumah, we love you. Most importantly, you've shown that you love boxing, you love your country, but don't forget, we love you.
To keep on keeping on and do what he does, you know what I mean, because what he has is a semblance and a symbol of what the Ghana people stand for.
Zula, great sport I ever fought. Without you, maybe no Jeff Finnick, no legacy for me. So I love you, and I hope you have a great life. Everything you do for the people in Ghana, keep up the good work.
So it's a lesson to the youth and to all people, because to me there are 2 clear messages to everybody: the message of perseverance, the message of humility. Even at the top of his glory, he always remained humble, both in the ring and outside the ring. And above all, tells the youth that we are all gifted differently, and everybody should try to make the best use of his or her gift. And he made use of his gift, and he became the longest reigning world champion of boxing. So I think it's an important lesson. Be humble, and when you make it, remember others. And even his NGO, the project he wants to do, tells part of his nature. He's made it, he wants to give it out to those unfortunate people. So I think we should all learn from it.
Alright, so those were sound bites from the launch a few days ago here in Accra, and I keep saying that you need to get a copy of this book. It's selling at all Zenith Bank branches across the country for only 100 Ghana cedis, and guess what? If you buy a copy of this book, you're actually contributing to his foundation, which is taking up projects in several communities across the country. And at the moment, he's working on a project in Apapem, yes. How's that going, Champ?
It's going well. We're almost on roofing stage now. Yes. So
yeah.
It's going on well.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say when my son is talking,
yeah.
You know, about the drugs, the boys they don't respect. See, I'll be happy if their parents, if their parents will show them to God, give them to God, let them go to church. They should listen to God's words, and they be involved. They should be involved in everything they do in the church. They won't. If you know that this guy is a bad guy, you don't go to him because he don't go to church because he don't know God. If you know that God is number one, and you always want to do what God wants you to do, you don't mix yourself with bad people. So I want everybody to give himself, especially the fathers and the mothers. Most of us we didn't go to church, so we don't care if our children they go or they don't. But they have to try and make sure that they push their children to church.
Okay.
And I believe God will change that.
Before we take a break, Mr. Agri, does his humility surprise you at all?
To a certain extent. Ever since I've known him as an amateur, he has been like this. Soft-spoken, respectful. Anytime he meets you, he will bow down. Even when he was at the top of his career, he never displayed arrogance. And the surprise element in it is that, he comes from an area where I was coming. When I was coming, I was on. There was somebody on the radio saying that he comes from Tishi, and the people there, nobody respects anybody. It's like you come from a certain area and everybody thinks that you are a bad guy.
Yeah.
But look at him. He never showed any traces of arrogance or disrespect to people. He always respected people, and like he said, because he knew God from beginning. And I think that is a good suggestion that he has made to all parents. Make sure your children know God, and they will never depart from the ways of God. And if they are there, they will always be humble, respectful, and they would, by God's grace, become great like him.
Okay, we are taking a short break now. When we come back, we'll talk more about the book, and also I see a lot of you are sending messages. So many of you are happy to see Professor Azumah Nelson on TV. Guess what? I'm seated next to him, so you can imagine my joy. We'll be back. Stay with us.
To keep on keeping on and do what he does, because what he has is a semblance and a symbol of what the Ghana people stand for. Diva, thanks for the
I've watched you develop, I've watched you grow, I've watched you good times and bad times, and I truly respect you, I truly love you, man, and all the best.
Yeah, welcome back to the Diva Show on TV3. This morning we are discussing Professor Berima Azumah Nelson, the greatest boxer Africa ever produced, and his book is out, The Professor, The Life Story of Azumah Nelson, written by Ashley Morrison, and is selling at all Zenith Bank branches across the country. Get your copy immediately at only 100 Ghana cedis, and also help build the schools and other projects he's working on across the country. It's all about giving back to society, and we're still with David Shermanton, a 17-year-old student of the British International School, Mr. Joe Agri, writer, former sports minister, a legend himself, a man several sport journalists actually looked up to, and the man himself, Professor Azumah Nelson. How does it feel watching yourself, listening to yourself so many years ago? Now you sit back, and some of the things you said, quite funny.
Yes.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, when like I'm watching it right now,
Yes.
you know, it reminds me the time, you know, I was saying that, and it's funny, you know.
And you said you're bad, baby.
You know that you know, you sit down and ask yourself, oh, so I say all this. So, I'm bad, baby. You know, I call a man a she.
Yes.
You know, that's the name of the game.
Yeah,
you know,
that's very true. Let me go for some messages here before I talk to you about the live transmission. You paying for some of us to watch the fights. Well, this one here from Efrodella says, greatness. I used to wake up at dawn with my dad to watch Azumah's fights. Some of the best memories from childhood. And he goes on to talk about you paying for some of the games to be aired live, or some of the fights to be aired live. And he says, so inspiring. Reasons why we love him forever. I wish other sports people were similar. There's another one here from Chemist in Goba says, I'm not missing this show ever. Kwesi Bekwe says, I suggest we should read this book in our schools. It's nice to learn about our heroes. Rightly so. Kweku, of course, a Manchester United fan who has Manchester United close to his name, says, this is heartwarming. The professor speaking about submission and love for Christ and church. Wow, just amazing. Kwesi Bekwe comes back to say, God bless you for having the champ in the studio. I'm loving the interview. Mensa Brapa says, Nanaba, after listening to Azumah Nelson, I promise I am quitting the bottle, no longer taking alcohol. That's good news. I hope you stick with that. Remy Nana Kwesi says, I'm loving your program today. I'm happy seeing the legend himself, Azumah Nelson, on your channel. And Bridget Otu also is watching and taking pictures. Bra Kwabna says, such a lovely morning when you wake up and turn the TV on and you see Professor himself on the Diva show. Jonathan says, the spirit every Ghanaian must possess. He always desires to help others. It is something we need to learn as a people. Big up to you, Zoom. Kweku says, so motivated watching Professor Azumah Nelson sharing his inspiring story on your network this morning. And I'll take the very last one. There are several messages. Kofi Van Hal says, and another interviewing the professor on the Diva show. I'm so motivated this morning. So you are an inspiration to many people, and I'm sure you know this already.
I think so.
You think so? All right. I have to come back to you, Mr. Joe Agri, because on the issue of humility, really, if you look across the board in our national teams, in the boxing discipline itself, you don't see these days. I mean, since Azumah Nelson, went away with all the titles he won, we have really not seen a crop of boxers who are so committed to the kind of patriotism he showed.
It's not only boxing, it's across board. If you go back to what happened to our football team in Brazil, it shows you straight away that if we had Azumah Nelson's, how many of them in the team, we would have gone far. Far. That's why I always stress discipline. Mm-hmm. Because if the players had not kept their minds on money, appearance fee, where's the appearance fee, and had concentrated on the games, they would have done what better than what their previous the previous teams had done. And that's why I put a lot of stress on discipline and then the humility, because if you are humble, you necessarily will have to be disciplined to be humble. Because if you are not disciplined, you don't care about anything, and how do you become humble then? And when people reach a certain stage in their lives, it is not easy to be humble. Because you think that you have seen it all, and
you have all the money.
Yes, you have all the money. The adoration. People are, adoring you, and they're calling you names, giving you big names here and there. So it gets to the head. Most of our sportsmen, not only Ghanaians, but on the world, they are fallen because they allowed the applause to get too much to them, and they forgot that they were human. So when one moment they come crashing down, then they know that after all they are human beings, and that is what Azumah, for me, portrays to the world. I wish everybody will read this book and get to know the true Azumah. Some of us who got close to him, we admire him so much, but some people admire him from afar. They don't know what really made the man. If they read the book, I'm sure they will know who Azumah really was, and it will help change our society. I hope so, that our youth, and particularly the sportsmen, will be influenced by what Azumah has done, so that they don't go about throwing their little ways about us as if the whole country. You go to represent your country. Azumah is a professional boxer. Professional boxing mainly it's not like amateur boxing, where you go and wear the national flag in the ring and all that. But he carried the national flag everywhere he went, made the whole world know who he was and where he was coming from. He never left the flag, and he was always making sure people knew where he was coming from. Through Azumah, a lot of people in the world have known that there's a small country somewhere called Ghana. And I think that this is what all sportsmen and especially the youth who are coming up should learn from him. That whether we like it or not, this is our country, and we should do everything to portray our country as the best in the world. Even if we are going through such difficulties as we are now, it is not the end of the world, because looking at his background, where he came from, he didn't allow that one to becloud his judgment, in the sense that he thought that Ghana, what has Ghana done for me? But he is the one who is putting a flag out there, letting people know that there is a country called Ghana, and everybody should emulate his example.
Prof, yesterday I met Azigiza Jr. and he said that when he released his first album in 1994-95, I can't remember the year, you were the only person who paid 2,500 CDs, and that was like his capital.
Huge money.
A kickstart. It was a huge money at the time.
That time the money, 2.something million.
Yes.
A huge money that you can open a business with.
Yeah. And when he was speaking, he had tears in his eyes. That at the time nobody gave him the opportunity. But you came to his launch and you paid so much money for one CD, and it opened so many doors for him, because he was able to start his own business, a whole lot of things. So he asked me to tell you that God bless you enormously, and he's already bought a copy of the book.
God bless him too, and I'm happy, he's a pastor today.
Yes.
Because the answer is God. We're talking about the sportsmen, the people who have money they don't respect, especially the sportsmen and women. Where we're from, most of sports people from poor family. We haven't seen money before. So, like when I was coming, I said, one day, if I get 10,000 series, one day, I'm finished. If I get 20,000, then I get the 10,000. I said, if I get 20,000, then I say, if I get $1 million, now finish. But more you get in the money, more you know that this is no money. Then you need more, you need more, you need more. And when you start getting the money, then you feel like you are the boss. That you get a lot of people following you who would just want to take the money, so they just telling you, man, you are the champion, man. You nobody like you. We love you. We did this. They do all this because of your money. But if
and guess on.
Yes, you know. But the Bible says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's why I'm stressing to everybody to know God.
Yeah. David, what are you picking up from all this? What are you going to tell your friends? You are the SRC president at BIS,
yes,
right?
Please.
So what would you be telling your colleagues when you go back to school?
Well, I would say that his humility is quite inspiring because...
Well, you are a very humble child, I must say.
Thank you. Coming from Africa back then, the exposure to Africa to the world, the exposure of Africa to the world was not as much as we have it today. It would be very difficult for someone to start a successful career as he did. And being able to get there and have so much money, I think that it's credit to his fear of God. That was what led him to that.
Oh gosh, I'm having a great time here. Okay, Miss Ghana 2013 says, Azumah, speechless, the definition of a great man, humility, endless list. I have a message here as well from one of the greatest, if not the best captain we have ever had for the senior national team. I think he's been the number one captain the Black Stars has ever had, Stephen Appiah. Stephen says, I'm in bed reading the book. Tell the champ that I wanted to give him a fight because I'm not scared of his punch now. Obviously because he retired, so he can face you in the ring. But being where I am now, his book, he said he's where he is now because he looked up to you when he was growing up, and may God richly bless you. Amen. This is from Stephen Appiah to you this morning. Amen. So you were paying for the live transmission of some of the fights?
Yeah, some of the fights, not all the fights. Some of the fight that it's difficult for Ghana to
watch,
bring it to the people to watch, and I believe if my people are watching me, they'll be happy, and I just want them to be happy, and so and it gives me power when I enter into the ring. I know my people are watching me, and I don't have to fail them. I have to put a smile on their faces, and I do. And they help me so much for the support. Because I don't want to fail them. So sometimes when I pay, and it's not about money. Money in my life, money don't come first, second. Well, money is in my life. I can't even remember. I don't. But I know that God is the one who gives money, and I know I will never lack in my life. My children never lack.
Amen to that one. Amen to that one. Were you embarrassed with the way the Black Stars performed in Brazil?
Well, I'm supposed to go to that game, but when I told God, if I have to go, let me go. And when the time comes, I didn't go, and something happens. Nothing. I have 2 tickets to go. I didn't go, and after that I heard that people are sleeping in the airports, and people are stranded. So I said, so if I go, that's how I'm going. Because it tells you that God loves me so much, and He always protects me. He always protecting me, taking me out of trouble. And if we all can see how God loves us, we do right things. But you see, one thing I would like to talk about this match. Our senior people too brings the problems.
Okay.
If they're supposed to get their money,
you give them their money.
Give them their money.
Exactly.
But you try to take some of their money, and these people, these boys, they have some small money already. So already their head is big. They don't respect the money you have. You know, so to give me the money, and you don't give them, you know, it's okay. Go and pray. You know, because they know that nobody's going to pray. You know, and they go there but you know, different everybody.
Yeah.
If I go into the ring and I don't have paid, if I don't get paid, I'll fight the way I fight. You know, and then just to be, you know, to make the nation great.
Yeah.
Because I know where I'm coming from, where I want Ghana to be. You know, so different everybody. But I think next time they have correct their mistakes. I think next time
they'll do well. Hopefully, if we make it to the Cup of Nations, we may win. It's been a long time, but does it worry you that, you know, the last time we ever won anything with the senior national team was in '82 or something? It's been so long. But boxing consistently gave us so much, yet the attention paid to boxing is very little. You look at boxing gyms across the country and they are a sorry sight. I don't even want to talk about that sport a complex that has been named after the professor. That is so pathetic, utter disrespect to his name, and I think the sports authority should be up and doing. If you want to associate his name with such a complex, you need to ensure that things are properly done.
So that somebody told me, I said they should take my name from the complex. I didn't say that. I would never say that. I think one of the press, he asked me, he said they are taking my name from the complex and they bring in some people, they call some name, whether the young people, I don't know what he said, but they're changing my name from. And I said, oh yeah, I said, it's okay, it's okay because there's time for everything.
Yes.
You know, this is the time my name is supposed to be there. Now it's finished. Somebody took comes.
Yeah.
And they changed the thing. Somebody telling me, I saw this thing on that you said that you should take your name from.
Yeah, you never said that.
I won't say that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I won't say that. I want to say thank you for everybody who came there, who couldn't make it. May God bless them. And this is just the beginning. Like I said, they have seen the first part. The second part, they're going to enjoy because they're going to be involved. You know, we're all going to be involved and give glory to God. So I thank them all, and I'll come personally in their offices, in their houses,
and to say thank you.
Some people I want to, I invited them, which I don't believe they will come.
They'll show up,
and
they
show up,
did,
and they show up. I cried.
Oh, yeah.
I thank them all.
Thank you so much for appearing on the show this morning. Thank you, Mr. Joe Agri, for taking time off to be here this morning. David Chairman from the British International School. Make sure you don't punish my son too much in school. Is he a good boy, though?
He's a very good boy.
Okay, that's good. All right, and thank you so much, Professor Azumah Nelson. Remember to get a copy of the book at all Zenith Bank branches. It's selling for only 100 Ghana cedis. Buy your copy. Read about the man. You won't get the information on Google. It is in this book. Thanks so much for your time this morning. Have a pleasant Saturday.